Hey, how's it going, everyone in the world today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are. My name is Chris, and this is D3, the Unofficial Digimon Podcast. Just to give you guys an overview of what this podcast will entail, I will be covering each and every episode of the new Digimon reboot that started earlier this month in April of 2020. I'll be giving my opinions on the episodes, the stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like, where I think the reboot will go based on what's happening in the episodes. And this is our very first episode. Well, not our. Well, our as in our journey. Mine as in I'm the only one hosting this podcast. Because I am the only person in my circle who is such a diehard Digimon fan. Well, I guess I wouldn't say diehard Digimon fan. I guess I would say I'm a pretty avid Digimon fan. Like, I've been a fan of the series since it first aired back in 1999, 2000, whenever we got the Fox Kids dub. So yeah, I've just been a big fan of it. I watched the first original 2 seasons, Digimon Adventure 1 and Digimon Adventure 2. I really loved both of those series. They're not without their faults, especially I know a lot of people have their thoughts about the ending of 02. That didn't really bother me that much. I mean, it was kind of out there. I mean, just aging all the kids up and everything, and then having them reach their goals or whatever, and everybody in the world automatically having Digimon and stuff like that. But I may talk about that in another episode or another series, depending on how this one goes. Today we are going to be talking about episode 1 of the Digimon reboot. I guess I could give you guys just an overview, like another overview of how I'm going to break this stuff down. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about the OP and the ED, stuff that I thought was awesome about the episode, stuff that I really didn't care for in the episode, and just where I think this season or this series is going to go in the future, depending on how long it lasts. I know the original Digimon Adventure was like 54 episodes. I'm going to be treating this as its own thing. I'm going to try my hardest not to compare what I'm seeing on the screen for the 2020 reboot to what I have already seen in the 1999 Digimon Adventure, because I want to treat this as its own thing. I may make a couple of comparisons here and there, but overall I do not want the stuff that I saw as an 8-year-old overshadowing or clouding my judgment as a 28-year-old now watching this new series. Also, because I grew up on the Fox Kids dub of the show, I am going to try my best to refer to each of the characters by their Japanese names and not the English names that they were given in the Fox Kids dub. So if I do slip up, I do apologize. Let's just hop into the actual episode, shall we? This first episode, we get an info dump from the narrator. The new series is now set in the future. In our current time of 2020, there's no coronavirus going on in that particular timeline. But there is some sort of other virus going down, but it's not like, it's a digital virus. It's not an actual in-person virus. And then we get the opening. The opening song for this series is Mikakunin Hits. Oh, I'm going to butcher this so bad. I apologize. I'm not the best person to be doing this. It's Mikakuin Hikosen by Takayoshi Kamoto. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I did a brief Google search of him. He did a couple of the openings for one of the other Digimon series. I'm not sure. It was one of the latter ones, because which one? After the series where the Digidestin were the Digimon, I had stopped watching, and then I know there were 2 other series, plus it's one spin-off series based on something else. Also, this is the first Digimon series to not include any opening, ending, or insert songs from the late great Koji Wada, who passed away back in 2016. Rest in peace. So I didn't grow up with Butterfly, which was like, everybody knows Butterfly if you're a Digimon fan. I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with, of course, the Americanized soundtrack or whatever. But I did, because I did try watching Digimon Try back in 2016, and the 2016 version of Butterfly is a great song. The OP is very Taichi based, very, very, very heavy on Taichi. We do get a falling animation from like the original series, like how they're like spinning and they're like falling through like the vortex into the digital world. We got that throwback in there. I thought that was real cute for all the fans who are currently watching it now. We got some imagery of the other kids. I noticed that Yamato was not in the intro, but we did see, this is one of the ones where I'm going to be like, because I don't know how to pronounce TK's Japanese name, so I'm going to be calling him TK until we get to an episode where they pronounce TK's name. We get Hikari, we get Mimi, we get Koshiro, Joe. I don't know if that's Joe's actual Japanese name. Sora. Like, all of them are briefly, like, this whole intro was very, very, very Taichi based. I also felt like they kind of blew their load a little early with all the Digivolutions that we got from, that we saw of, Agumon, Koromon, Agumon. Like, they literally went all the way up to Omnimon, like, for even a brief seconds at, like, before the intro like closed, we got Omnimon. I'm just like, oh damn, so y'all just really gonna put all of that out there right now that we'll wind up we are going to eventually get an Omnimon evolution. I'm just like a little, I was just hoping that we get, just a little tease, because I know like this is a new series, so a lot of the younger kids are going to be seeing this and they're going to be like, okay, well, what is up with all of these evolutions? Like, I felt like it should have been more of a surprise. Like, you could have gave us Koromon, Agumon, Greymon, and like War Greymon, and give us like some silhouettes of War Greymon and Omnimon, so, just to give us a little, suspense. Because I know and here, this is my first time I'm going to be going back to the original series. In the original series, the opening only focused, like, once we got to a certain point, then they, showed the intro with, like, the ultimate form Digimon. But, like, those first, like, 20 or so episodes, we only saw the champion form Digimon. We saw, well, the in-training Digimon and the champion Digimon. And of course the baby ones as well. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I also, it was just kind of unexpected. It was unexpected, and I thought it's just a bit gratifying, self-gratifying. I mean, for the fans who know these Digimon, they're seeing it. It gives them something to look forward to. But I'm just like, a little mystery doesn't hurt. Also, some angel imagery in there. There was also some small emphasis on Hikari and TK in the intro. So, of course, because, the angel Digimon are, like, very, very important. So, more than likely, we are going to get some sort of, I don't know, there was not, like, a heavy focus on those two, but there was enough to see, we see a feather. We see the long pause shots on both TK and Hikari. So of course something is going to happen with that. But we didn't really see a lot of the other Digi-Destined or Chosen Children in that intro. A slow build would have been nice, but overall, I liked the intro song. I liked the animation of the intro, just very Thai based. So I I don't know if that's like setting up how the season or how the season is going to be is where we're going to get a heavy focus on both um, Taichi and Yamato. I will talk about Yamato later because of the ED. But so after the intro, we get another small info dump about like the internet and stuff like that. I thought it was really, really interesting, and it made me feel old that they had like the dial-up sound and then it automatically went to like the Wi-Fi thing. Like the internet has evolved so much in like the last 20 years compared to back in the day where of course, we were using our phone lines that hook up to the internet, and now we have fiber optics, we have Wi-Fi, we have remote internet access, it's hotspots and stuff like that. It's just a lot happened in 20 years. So Tai is getting ready for summer camp. The iconic apartment. The apartment layout looks almost the same as it did in the original series. I also saw Miko, which is what is Yagami? I think Taichi's last name is Yagami. In the Yagami household. That was nice. Like I said, Tai is preparing for summer camp. He's getting all his stuff together. The mother and Hikari are in the train station. I think they're taking Hikari to some lesson. They have a brief interaction there. Taichi grabs his iPhone. Like, Taichi has a better phone than me. Like 10-year-olds with iPhones, I'm still over here with a very low-tier budget phone, but that's neither here nor there. And he starts watching the news. Briefly, one of my gripes with this particular episode, especially since it is an intro episode, is the pacing of it. Like, a lot of stuff happens in this episode, and it's fast. Like, it is rapid pace stuff happening in this episode. Like, I'll talk about more of that later, but moving on. Just to double back, I'm not sure if Hikari is going to summer camp. In the original series, she was sick, so that's the reason why she didn't go with the initial 7 chosen children to the summer camp, because she was going through it. I'm not sure what's going on in this one. She doesn't seem like she's sick now. She may get sick later. She might not get sick, and she might be actually on this journey the entire time since she was in the opening and everything. But yeah, Taichi is looking at the news, and then he hears a ring at the door, and at the door is Koshiro, Koshiro is at the door. He is new to the apartment complex, I believe. Side note, I hope we do see Mrs. Izumi. She was one of my favorite parts of the original Digimon Adventure 1, especially in 02. She was like one of the best adult characters. Koshiro's at the door. He is introducing himself to Tai. He makes it known that they're both in the same summer camp and they're both in the same group, I believe. Tai invites him into the apartment. Koshiro is hesitant to come in. And then, I guess Taichi has his phone in his hand, and Koshiro asks to look at it. On the news, there's something about, the network is going down, or there's some sort of strange network malfunction going on. It's affecting the trains, and it's affecting, like, stoplights and stuff. Taichi's mother and Hikari are on the trains transferring over to somewhere for this appointment. Taichi gets worried and he winds up calling them. They don't pick up the phone because they are on the train. Actually, it's not an underground train or anything, so I didn't know. I guess she had the phone in her purse. It didn't vibrate. How did Koshiro know all of the info about the trains like that fast? I felt like it was instantaneous, and there was really no indication about the issues. Even like the train operators didn't know what was going on, but Koshiro automatically like what type of network information were you getting from, like the dark web or anything? Taichi, you wanna not Taichi, Koshiro, you wanna tell us something? Taichi is so worried about his mom and Hikari. Him and Koshiro run down to the train station. He does briefly get in contact with his mother, but then the train, lurches or whatever, and her phone drops on the floor. I don't know why she couldn't just pick it up, but that's just me. I mean, dramatic tension or whatever, but but yeah, anyway, moving on. Koshiro is talking about like the trains and stuff like that. He's kind of dismissive, which I think is also kind of a throwback to his original character in 01 and 02. I mean, well, at least in the beginning of 01, where he was so focused on like getting information and stuff like that. Sometimes he disregarded people's feelings, talking and talking and talking, giving us, all this exposition. Taichi, gets that look in his eyes. Well, we don't really see his eyes, but he gets that resolve, that main character resolve. He puts the goggles on his head, and the 10-year-old in me, I mean, not the 10-year-old, the 8-year-old in me, screamed. I'm just like, oh, he put on the goggles, oh my gosh, the goggles. And he jumps the turnstile of the train station, and he starts running. I don't know where he thinks he's going. I don't know if he's like running towards, like, is he planning like running all the way to his mom? And Hikari, I don't know. He's a 10-year-old. He's hot-headed. He's just gonna do what he wants. And then this sets off the chains of events that brings us into the actual digital world, or the net, as they called it in this episode. We hear Koromon call out to Taichi, and then there's some sort of technological interference, everything starts, going off, tied, like, digitizes, and then, boom, he disappears. Like, he is gone. He is gone. His phone gets left behind. I'm not sure why the phone got left behind, but everything else went with him. Koshiro was following behind him. He sees him disappear, and then we get our initial look of the digital world. I'm not sure if this is going to be what the digital world is going to look like throughout the series, but if it is, I'm kind of bored by it. I mean, initially, right for this one episode right now, it looks like any other digital world or digital atmosphere that you would see in an anime, at least to me. It's beautifully drawn. It's beautifully animated. Toei did a really good job of animating this episode. For the most part, I liked a lot of the shot composition that was going on in here. Taichi hopping from block to block to block. Just, taking it all in. I liked, like, the wide shots or whatever, but all of it is very much samey looking. So if we're going to be looking at this for the entirety of the run of this series, it's going to get boring really fast. However, if they're going to do it where it's divided, like how it was in the initial series, that's like the 4th time I've done that. How it's looked in the initial series, where we had different layers of the digital world, where we had one layer that was just like ones and zeros, one layer that was like the primary village, one layer that was like the islands, one layer that is like the distorted world from like Digimon 02, the Dark Ocean, and stuff like that. Then I'm just like, okay, this initial introduction to it, okay, that's cool. Whatever. If we're here for a couple of episodes, that's cool, and then we move on to different areas and we explore, then that's cool. But if we're just here for the entirety of the series, then I'm just like, ooh, I don't know how much of my attention that you're going to hold. He sees Koromon falling from the sky, and like that shot of him falling from the sky, the shot where Taichi jumps after him, that is a beautifully animated shot. Also one thing I also have to give the episode is the music. The music in this episode, and hopefully throughout the series, is really, really good. It has this superhero type feel, a superhero like score to it. The music is very triumphant, very strong, very fantasy-esque. Taichi catches Koromon, and then he evolves into Agumon after they land, when they land, he evolves into Agumon, which is interesting because the way that he evolves into Agumon involved Taichi's crest, which is of course the crest of courage. So are we now negating the fact that they had to be introduced to the crest later on in the series, and the crest are just going to be already a thing in this series, and we don't have to go on the long-winded quest to get the tags and the crest so they can, go to their ultimate forms and their mega forms and their fusions. So when he catches Koromon, we see a light go off in the sky, and we happen to see all of the chosen children happen to see it, except all the chosen children happen to see this light except for Yamato, which we don't see at all, which is interesting, but I will get to that later on. I don't know why I did that, but yes. And then once Taichi and Agumon land, we see that Taichi has his Digivice now. And the new Digivice designs are very retro, but also very updated. Like, they're more smooth. They're like a throwback to the original Digivice designs, but now they're smoother, they're rounder. I guess they're a lot more sophisticated looking than the big bulky kind of thing that they had in the original series. I like the redesign. I have no issue with the redesign. Okay, I also peeped in TK's room that there was an astronaut poster, which I think might be a callback to the end of O2, where Matt decided he wanted to become an astronaut. Also, after like the flash of light or whatever, I don't know if Koshiro sees the flash of light, because it doesn't look like there was. He doesn't look like he seemed to be very interested in what was going on around him. And then his 2-in-1 laptop flashes. It says like Chosen One on it. We see his Crest of Knowledge. It flashes or whatever. And then his computer is upgraded and he gets his Digivice as well. During this entire period of time, Koromon, before he digivolved into Agumon, were fighting these virus-type Digimon. They did not give the name in the episode of the Digimon, and I did not do my due diligence and look them up. Fighting them by himself that entire time. And from the beginning of the episode, it looks like there were swarms of them. So he was pretty much trying to hold off swarms of virus-type Digimon the entire period, and then Agumon kicks in the full gear. He starts throwing his I want to say pepper breath so bad, but that's not what it's called. It's called Baby Flame. He starts baby flaming all the virus Digimon. Another info dump from Koshiro. Then Tai throws on his gloves, which I actually really enjoyed this part. Tai just threw on his gloves, and he helps Agumon with 3 of the virus-type Digimon. I'm just okay, finally, those gloves have some sort of significance now. They're just not there for fashion. Because that was one of the things that bothered me from the first series, is the gloves. That's a really, really strange fashion choice for a bunch of kids. And I think every single kid had them except for Joe, TK, and Hikari. I think every other character did wear gloves for that entire show. Koshiro talking, he talks about how now his 2-in-1 laptop got upgraded, and now he could be of more use to Taichi. It gives the information that the Digimon are causing all these weird interferences in the real world. They're causing the trains to mess up. Thanks to Agumon and Taichi beating up the other virus Digimon, it reset, normalized, stabilized one of the areas that was having trouble earlier on in the episode. But now they have to actually find the source of everything that's going on, so they can take care of the trains, which is the big thing in this episode, because Taichi's mother and Hikari are on the trains. Taichi and Agumon head towards the train station. I mean, not the train station, towards the main hub or whatever. And then Agumon just does this really awkward looking shot where he's like he jumps up in the air and then he's upside down and he's like popping out his baby flame, and he like destroys a whole like large swarm of virus Digimon. And then they get to like the very last virus Digimon. Agumon is about to like, finish it off, and then it starts digivolving, evolving. I think it evolves like 2 times because it goes through one change and then it goes through another change, and it turns into like this big plant virus monster thing. Like, looking at that thing, aggravated by tryptophobia. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I was sitting there like literally skin crawling. I was like physically cringing looking at that thing. I'm not sure what it reminds me of, a monster from some anime. I cannot think of which one it is though, but just thinking about it again just sends like makes my skin crawl. Like, the design just makes my skin crawl. But anywho, they're fighting this giant plant virus thing with arms. Agumon still tries to fight. He doesn't really get beat up, but he's just like, he's tired now. He got hit like one time and now he's out of it. He's been baby flaming all these virus Digimon up until that point, and now he's just tired. He's out of it. He don't want to do anything. But then, then we get this nice, let me double back. And then we get this nice, it's because I have 2 thoughts about this shot. It's the shot where we see the large plant virus Digimon type thing. And we see Taichi and Agumon, and it's like blacked out. We see like the fog effect or whatever. I like that shot. I think it's a really cool looking shot. However, the fog effect just looks so real. And then because they're animated, the juxtaposition just looks off to me. I'm just like, ooh, maybe just make the fog look a little faker, or more animated, not faker, but more animated, and then I probably would have been like really, really here for it. It still looked cool, but I was just like, oh wow, it's like, it's really jarring seeing both of those images juxtaposed. Then we see, it's like, oh my gosh, their backs are against the wall. They have to fight this giant plant virus thing. And then Taichi just, he gets that look in his eye. He just, and then he grabs Agumon. Well, he's already holding on to Agumon. He grabs Agumon and he just jumps. Like, he dodges like the plant virus Digimon's like attack. Like, he literally dodges the attack and then flips through the air. He grabs Agumon like a freaking football, jumps, flips through the air, and then we get, the flash of Taichi's crest, the crest of courage, and Agumon now, gets the power up and he digivolves into Greymon. Like, what I was reading online, there were a lot of points of contention with this particular Digivolution, because a lot of people were expecting, to hear, the familiar cue of Braveheart and, seeing like the transformation sequence. But I felt like, because this is the first episode, they wanted to streamline things. I didn't have an issue with this. I thought it was actually a lot more effective, at least for me, because it did something different. We see the full Digivolution, and it looks really cool. The red just grows exponentially, and then we get this the battle between Greymon and the plant virus Digimon thing. The giant plant virus Digimon gets a couple hits in, but we all know that Greymon wins in the end, of course. And boom, bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. In this battle, the train that Hikari and Taichi's mom were on, I don't know her name off the top of my head, I keep calling her Taichi's mom, was speeding up and it was about to crash. Thanks to Greymon and Taichi, now the train stopped and they're all okay. We get the confirmation that, yeah, this fixed it, yay, everything, the day is safe. But wait, it's not really safe, because now there's a cyber attack in America. And I'm just like, where's Willis at? Why are we taking care of it now? Where's Willis? Get Willis to take care of it. Willis has a Digimon. He has 2 Digimon. Then we get a slow pan up shot to like where the plant virus Digimon had came from, and now we see Garurumon, and we also see Yamato. Now, when I saw that shot, like both times, I watched this episode 3 times to do this podcast, and each and every time that shot came on, I laughed. I didn't laugh because it was, cool. I laughed because it was funny. Because I'm just like, we're really doing this with Yamato in this series. We're really gonna make him the cool and super distant one. I mean, he was already the cool, too cool for school distant one in the original series, but like seems like they're really laying it on hard. And then after we get that shot of Yamato and Garurumon, we get the ending of the episode. And this ending is heavily focused on, like, I feel like the ending is way more focused on Yamato than the intro for Taichi was focused on him. Like, we see this man eating a popsicle, holding an umbrella by some rice patties falling through the sky. We get a brief shot of TK. We don't see Hikari at all in the ending. We just see 5 children, plus TK with his own small solo shot. And the way they're setting it up, it makes me think it's going to be... Well, I'll talk about that later, but that's the end of the episode. Also, the song... Sorry, let me give you guys the song. I actually like the song of the ending. I think I like the ending song more than I like the opening song. The song is called Kuyasha Watane by Chie Fujikawa. I hope I pronounced that right. Kuyasha Watane by Chie Fujikawa. That's the ending song. And that is the first episode of the Digimon reboot. So what did I like about this episode? I'm saying that I didn't like anything of the episode. Well, at least first of all, I did like the opening and the endings of both. Despite the fact they were both heavily focused on both of the main male characters of the series, I did like the songs. I liked the animations. I thought both were very representative of the characters, based on what I know and based on what I've seen, and based on, of course, the original series. Having the series set for now, I feel like will give us a lot of cool things to look forward to in terms of technology, since technology has evolved so much over, like I said earlier, over the last 20 years. And I also think because the 90s were its own time, I'm all kind of 90s out. Like, my generation is just very, very heavily hung up on 90s nostalgia. So I'm just like, if this was set in the 90s again, I would have been just like, okay, we've already done this, it's time for something fresh, it's something new. The characters and designs are still very reminiscent of the original series. I know that was a point of contention with a lot of people. I like the character designs. It looks like Hikari and TK are smaller though. I don't know if that's true or if that's because my 8-year-old mind was just like, they're little kids just like me. But yeah, they both look really small in comparison to the other two. To the other group, not the other two. Because I already knew that they were the younger siblings of the 2 male characters, but still, they look way younger now than they did initially in the first series. Because when I watched Try, I could not get past the character designs. The character designs were just one thing. I was just like, they all look too similar to me. Their faces look too similar. And I know, who did that? A1 Pictures did Try, right? I think. Because I watched Erased, and A1 Pictures did Erased, and they had similar styles. But with Erased, I was able to I was still able to tell, the characters apart, and I didn't think they were just, each other with just different hairstyles and different clothes. The little interaction that we got with Koshiro and Taichi. Koshiro is my favorite character in the Digimon series. For me, they've always had the best friendship chemistry, and I don't know why during the initial seasons that they never explored that further. They seem to really try to shoehorn the whole Yamato and Taichi thing. Koshiro's usually the one that Tai turns to in his times of need. That's why I'm just if you really want the whole Taichi Yamato thing, you could just make them rivals. They don't have to be the besties. You could just make them rivals and still have a friendship, but still make Taichi and Koshiro's friendship a lot closer. I like that we saw Hikari early on. Hopefully this is an indication that she'll be with us for the duration of the series and not be introduced 20 episodes in. I like the animation. I liked the music. I think that's it for all my likes. Now for my personal points of contention with this episode. Breakneck speed of everything that was going on. Just period. I felt like we started off fine. I want to say 2 to 3 minutes of the episode where we get the introduction of Taichi, where he's getting ready to, he's packing for summer camp, and he's looking through the news, and up until he meets Koshiro, I felt like that was really good pacing. We got what we needed to get in those initial 3 to 4 minutes. And then once, Koshiro wanted to look at the news with Taichi, that's when everything just went from 0 to 100 real quick. Everything just went at a breakneck speed. Now, look, I have this laptop. I have this timeline. Oop, this train is moving really, really fast. Oop, now, we have to go to the train station. Oop, now we're in the digital world. Oop, now you met your partner Digimon. Oop, now he's a champion Digimon. Oop, now we met Yamato. Oop, now the episode's done. Everything just went so fast, and I'm just wow, a breather would have been nice. I really wanted some more character development between at least the characters that we've seen, particularly Taichi and Koshiro. I think this overall, the episode should have been longer, honestly. I feel like this first episode should have been at least a 45 to 50 minute episode. That way, we could have got a lot better. We could have got some better pacing, and we could have got some good character moments. Koshiro and Taichi literally met each other like that, and then they were already on their adventure. Hey, invite Koshiro into your apartment, make him an omelet, watch some TV with him, talk about your guys' hobbies, talk about how Koshiro wound up in the apartment complex, set up, some stuff, some interaction with Miko maybe, slowly build up, and then we get to they're on the train, this is affecting the trains, now look, it's slowly starting to affect more and more things. I also felt like Koshiro was cheated out of his moment to get his Digivice, because we see with Taichi, he got to meet his partner Digimon, and he got his moment, and he got his Digivice, and Agumon Digivolved. Koshiro, all he did, his computer got upgraded, and then, look, Digivice in hand. There was no emotional resonance with it. I kind of just didn't care what was going on with the train, honestly. Most of what I was interested in was in the actual net, or the digital world, or whatever we are going to call it for right now. That's where all the stuff was happening for me. So when it was just that's why I'm just it should have been longer. So that way I could have developed a care, honestly. And I'm not saying this to be dismissive or to be nasty or anything, but I'm just I just didn't really care about what the trains, what was going on with the trains and Hikari and Tai's mom on the train. I kind of don't want this particular series, to be Tai, Yamato, and friends. Because based on the opening and the ending, it seems like the series is going to be really heavily focused on their relationship as, friends or as enemies or frenemies and the other chosen children, probably except for Hikari and TK, because of course they have the angel Digimon and they're going to be imperative for later developments down the line, are going to be left behind. Like, we've already seen it kind of sort of with Koshiro here. It feels like they're really like pigeonholing his character into just info dump, super smart info dump. I want Koshiro to have be his intelligent self, but I also want him to have a character. I want his character to develop. I want him to work for what he has. I want him to work for his intelligence, like in the original series. And then there I go again. Like, even though he had this brick-ass Nokia phone and his old laptop, he learned along with the other kids. He didn't just have all this information at his fingertips. But that could also be, a really, really cool thing too. Like, he has all this information, but what does he do with it? You know what, if they, that could actually be a really, really good development for his character too. So I'm not going to really write that off. Was there anything else that I had an issue with other than the breakneck speed, I think? Oh yeah, and some of the battles were just too fast. Like I said, it should have just been longer. If they had wanted to do this as a 2-part episode, I would have ended it at the point when Agumon digivolved into Greymon. And I would have ended the episode there. It would have gave us a nice, cool cliffhanger, something to look forward to in the next episode. And, it could have just threw us through a loop. And then the next episode could have ended on the Yamato cliffhanger. And then we could have moved on from there. The episode wasn't boring, which is good. That's one of the things that I also was worried about, is that I wouldn't like the initial first episode and then I wouldn't want to watch the rest of the series, because I literally bought a Crunchyroll account just to watch this. At least it wasn't boring, and it piqued my interest enough for me to actually keep watching the episode. I know, the second episode has aired already, so once I watch that, I will do another one of these podcasts, hopefully before the third episode comes out this Saturday night. If you like what you hear, I implore you to keep listening, to keep watching out for this podcast. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, you can leave comments saying what I can improve, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, teaching going. And I guess I will catch you guys in episode 2.